Hey there, guys. I am super excited today because we are featuring Cristen Lincoln from Portland, Oregon. Out of an audience of hundreds of thousands of agents nationwide, Cristen has been chosen to represent the entire team at this month with Broker Agent of the Month for the state of Oregon. So we are so excited. First, congratulations, Cristen, on being recognized as such a top agent in your community. It's a huge honor. Yeah, absolutely. So it's always interesting to talk to people that are been practicing in the business through lots of cycles and ups and downs like we always have in the industry. How long have you been practicing so the audience knows?
I got my license in 1993, so 29 years.
29 years. Oh, we're going to get so much out of this interview. I can't wait. So
I
29 years in the business, and you've gone through lots of cycles. When you first got in the business, what was attractive to you? Why did you decide, hey, this is what I want to do with my life?
I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur in charge of my own life. When I was a kid, so I come from a long line of entrepreneurs, my dad, my uncles, his dad. And one thing I noticed about my dad who owned his business and even when I was a kid, and my mom who had an office job, is that when I had a track meet, my dad was there.
Interesting.
When I left my lunch at home, my dad could bring it to me. And I don't know exactly I was a kid, right? What my thoughts were around it, but I noticed the difference.
Wow.
And freedom is a really important value to me. So even though it's funny, as entrepreneurs, we work way more than the person who has the office job,
Sure.
There still are freedoms within that. And it's a choice that we're making. And so the idea of, just being in charge of myself and getting into a business in an industry where it could be of service, but also in service to myself and my needs, is what attracted me to real estate. Interesting.
I love that. And before the session, we did a little pre-interview, and you said something which resonates to me. I've been in the business 32 years. We're somewhere in a timeline. And that is that, you say you're not special, but you really are. But the secret to success is really showing up, which I think for a lot of agents, I think that's the struggle, is just to show up every day, day in, day out, regardless of market conditions, just showing up. How important has it been for you in your business just to kind of show up and go through the work?
Well, I had a couple of early mentors, and one of the first mentors I had told me specifically, no one's watching over you. And so it's up to you to treat it like a job and show up every day and create work. And that has been true for me. And, I would show up to the office every day at 9 and stay until 5. And I would create things to do. And, my schedule looks a little bit different now, but I think that I heard someone recently say, in 2009, when the market was slow, I just took up hobbies. And I thought, that's interesting. I mean, that's good for them because that's what they wanted to do. And that's what's so great about this business. It can be whatever you want. But I dug in and worked extra hours. And so it's just, you can make it what you want it to be. But I wasn't like, free time, yay. And I sold a lot of houses that year, actually, because people still needed to move. They still needed someone to help them. And so just by showing up every day and being present, I was available.
I love that. And one of the things I think when you talk to, sometimes newer agents, especially, they come to the office and like, I don't know what to do. Right. And, but you knew that you needed to come in and just work that full day as if it's you're getting paid to be there anyway. But this is a lesson point for, I think, a lot of agents is, okay, Cristen, we are a new agent. And what did you do to kind of, when you were back, rewind the tape, go back 29 years ago, you're coming to your office the first week or two, you don't have any buyers or sellers yet. What did you do during that starting point to like get to where because you're a superstar agent, you're a top level agent in Portland, Oregon. So what did you do in the beginning?
I think what I did now isn't necessarily even relevant today, though. I would preference by saying that, but I just I I did all the things that people do. I literally walked around my neighborhood and knocked on doors.
Mm.
You know, I did expireds. I called for sale by owners. I did, you know, there was no online platform, right?
Right.
You know, made calls, sent notes, looked at the inventory, toured houses.
Mm-hmm.
I did open houses like mad because it was actual work, real work, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, doing all of those things, you get back to you what you put in. So not all of those things worked or work today. But if you put that energy out there, it's impossible for it to not come back to you.
Yes.
And it's a really great idea to try all the things and find out what doesn't work so you can know where to focus your energy.
Well, it's like putting it out, you know, I think some people call putting it out to the universe, but I think opportunities create opportunities. When you're out there getting in front of opportunities, something is going to come, right?
Yes.
And it's interesting how you'll work in one thing and then the opportunity comes from left field, right? It's not even related, but you are out there and you're generating some energy around it. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And I think all those things are relevant for new agents to hear. Now, but let's transition that a little bit around your day to day, you know, 29 years in the business and the market's changed, technology's changed. What is different today? I mean, obviously you've got your own book of business, you've got your sphere, but what's changed for you? What are you leveraging? What are you using in your business today?
I am using myself.
Okay.
Because I've been, you know, doing this for a really long time, I've had a lot of opportunities to get in front of a lot of people.
Sure.
And, you know, staying in touch with those people, staying in front of those people, staying valuable to those people keeps my business going. I had an agent say to me recently, I can't wait till I've been doing it as long as you, and I just get to hang out and the phone rings. I'm like, that's still about you get what you put out. So being really deliberate about staying in touch with our fan base.
Right. So being just kind of granular, specific, because agents are always like, okay, tell me exactly. But like for you, does that mean you're calling a few people a day? Is it you're sending thank you cards? Are you doing an email newsletter? Are you really active on social media? Or is it a mix of all those things? I mean, what does that look like for you?
It's a mix of all of those things. We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. So we have physical mail that goes out that's relevant. We have digital communication that we think is relevant.
Yeah.
I love to call or text folks. Sometimes I'm just driving by and I'll notice that, you know, a house I sold that they cut down a tree. I'll be like, hey, so-and-so, remember this house? Look, their tree is missing. And then we get, you know, a little laugh out of it. I think what's really important for agents, it's great to hear what other people are doing because you can get all these ideas and you should try them all, just like we talked about.
Yeah.
But whatever you decide or land on should feel authentic and work for you and energize you. If you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta make 5 calls today. Oh, geez. Well, you know, I'm going to go do the dishes first.
Right.
Right. Then that's not going to be a sustainable way for you to communicate.
No.
So don't do it. Do something else. We used to hold client parties, but I found that the experience wasn't super energizing for me because I didn't feel like I got to really connect. So now we do more intimate things. That energizes me. If I can sit and chat with you and hear really what's happening in your life versus feeling like I need to address the whole room at once.
Right.
So, you know, do what works for you, what energizes you, but definitely do things. There's no sitting at home doing the dishes or walking the dog. Do all of those things, but also take deliberate action every day in your business and it'll come back to you. And it doesn't, you know, when I first started, I was like, it was all day. It was 9 to 5. I had nothing else to do. I lived in my parents' basement, which is awesome. Thanks, mom and dad.
Yes.
But I feel like if you are really focused and deliberate, it doesn't have to be all day for it to come back to you. So just find what energizes you and works and do that to connect with people who know and trust you and would value your help and advice.
I love it. And I think, I mean, you said so many things there, but one of those things I think, and I find this with top producers, it's interesting when I interview top people in the country, is that a lot of them have a course of huge sphere of influence because they've been in the business a long time, but they really elevate their relationships with their database, and they don't treat them like a number. They treat them like friends. And it's more of an organic friendship feeling that these people have with each other. And they do look at them as friends. They say, this is not my client, this is my friend. And that's what I'm kind of hearing from you, is I think that's kind of maybe your approach too, is like, hey, these are not just a number on, a transaction. These are friends of mine, which is, I think it's really telling of the top producers in the country that they kind of approach it that way. Let me ask you this, because this is interesting too. You're doing this organically, you got kind of what you gravitate towards. Are you hitting some marks? Are you saying, okay, every month we're going to do one physical mailing, one email, and then in addition
we have
to
a plan and a schedule.
You got a plan and schedule. Okay, that's what I want to
get
to. Okay. So it's not just like I fly by night. It's like you got a plan.
No,
Okay.
Fly by night is not going to happen.
Right.
So we have a plan and a schedule, and then we have team members assigned to executing those things.
Love it.
So everything is, we control all the things about our business that we can control.
Yeah.
So that the things we can't control, we are well positioned to manage.
Love it. So with that, let's talk about social media for a minute. What's your involvement? Are you really into social media? Are you doing video? Are you not doing any of that stuff? That's not your gig? Okay.
It's not my thing.
Okay. So it's more just emails or authentic touches, calls, texts, little personal, intimate meetings, that kind of thing. I love it. Yeah. Well, and that's what people really crave now, especially after COVID. People crave human connection. So I think it's really even more important than ever. So that's really great. What is your business mostly listings, mostly buyers? Is it an even mix? What's it look like?
We shoot for 50-50 because buyers become sellers.
Yes.
And, sellers are buyers, and it also keeps us balanced. We understand what buyers are looking for, and we can share that with our sellers when we're helping them get their home ready for sale. We can help our buyers craft really smart offers because we sit at the table with sellers and present offers. Yeah. And we hear their feedback. So that keeps us well balanced and well positioned to serve our clients well. Also, as the market ebbs and flows, a couple months ago, everyone's like, I don't want any more buyers. And I was like, well, we'll take them.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't care that it's hard.
Yeah.
That's just us bringing more value. And the market is going to shift. It's always going to shift. It's never going to be just this or just that.
Right.
And now people are like, man, I wish I had buyers. So, keeping it even positions your business to be strong and also positions you to better serve your clients.
Yeah, I can't agree more. As a top agent, I got a question for you. I'm imagining that a lot of your business is coming from word of mouth, friends referring friends and that kind of thing. And you're probably getting some organic business as well. But when you meet a client for the first time, they're coming into you to meet you or one of your team members, are you walking them through a set process every time? Like, hey, we just want to walk you through kind of how our team works or how we work. Is that how it looks? Are you using a visual presentation? How are you approaching kind of that first meeting? And this is always an interesting question for especially newer agents.
Yeah, the first meeting is just about what is important to them and what they want to hear about.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't want to go in with a presentation and be talking for 20 minutes about something they don't care about.
Right.
So we sit down and say, tell us what your needs are. How can we help you?
How can we serve?
How can we be of service? What are your concerns? And we just let them drive it.
Gotcha.
And then we bring value and consult, and we're a fit or we're not a fit.
Gotcha. When you are a newer agent and you're starting to grow your business, and you get to a point where you say, hey, you know what? I think I need an assistant and or a buyer's agent. At what point did you know that yourself and pull the trigger on that?
Well, like everyone, too late.
As you always say, I wish I would have done this a year ago or something.
every person who's brought in support has said, man, I wish I had done this sooner.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's going to be different for everyone.
Sure.
So I don't exactly know how to answer that. I know agents who are selling, really high volume, who barely have help.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't super stoked.
No,
about
not
it.
very happy.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot, but certainly it's really smart to look at your business regularly and identify the things that de-energize you.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can get those off your plate, the better, and the better agent you're going to be, and the better your clients are going to be served. A lot of folks get nervous about bringing in support, but it's not like getting married.
That's a really good point. I love that.
If it doesn't work, you part ways.
Yeah.
If you're paying someone a salary, you don't have to pay it all at once. You get to pay it every month. And if at any time it's not working, again, you can go different ways. So, my advice to anyone out there who's thinking about getting some help and support would be just, to go to the leadership in your company and talk it out. There's so many ways to structure it. There's so many options. It's super easy.
So as a team leader yourself, because you have a couple of buyer's agents you're working with and an admin, and this is an interesting question for team leaders. Are you, at this point in your career, are you doing most of the listing side of it? Are you still working with buyers as well? Or are you giving all your buyers to your buyer's agents?
My buyer agents take the lead on hunting down the houses and working those transactions.
Yeah.
I found that if everyone's really clear on what their job and role is, that the job will be done more effectively.
Yeah.
So we try not to get into each other's jobs too much. I'm the listing agent, and they, take the buyers and go.
Yeah. So you have the standard that you set for yourself, and you were really clear about it. I need to show up every day, and that's my job. I got to do that. And you have time off and all that stuff, of course. With your buyer's agents, same standard. You say, hey, I expect you to show up every day and work 9 to 5. Not physically necessarily to an office, but showing up where they're working. Is that the same standard you have for them?
Their job is to meet their expectations of getting their job done awesomely.
Yeah.
And they get to decide how they do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't micromanage anything about their schedule.
Yeah.
As long as everyone is executing their job and serving the client to the highest level, then they get to do what is natural to them in their flow, because their work will be better.
Gotcha.
That's a hard place, I think, for a lot of people to get. It's like the letting go. People want to say, okay, I'm going to have a buyer's agent, and this is how you do it, and at this time. But my perspective, and everyone has their own perspective, my perspective is that's going to get in the way of them being naturally awesome at their job.
Well, I think too, you got to give up control to grow capacity, right? And the hardest thing for team leaders is to give up control. And when you give up control, you actually grow everybody's ability to grow their income and have more fulfillment. So I think you're right. You're spot on. It's just right on the money. Great advice. So when you are also a mentor and a coach, obviously to your own team and probably to many others in the community, as a mentor and a coach to these folks that maybe have a moment of, hey man, I'm not feeling 100%, about my business or life or what the market or whatever. How do you coach them through that? How do you get them kind of through that lull? Because you've been doing it 29 years. We've all experienced it. How do you get them out of that cycle, that mental cycle?
Well, mindset's everything in life, about everything,
right.
Work and life and relationships and everything. So, if somebody's feeling stuck, that just is a message that there's something that could be better.
Yeah.
So don't wallow in it, right? Get to brass tacks. What's stuck? What's not working? What's a slog for you in your business, and how can you get rid of it?
Gotcha.
How can you do more of what energizes you and brings your natural talents to the table and less of what doesn't?
Yeah.
Again, this business is so flexible, and there's so many people that are ready to support agents that there really isn't a very good excuse to be too stuck for too long.
So you said it a couple times, delivering awesomeness to your clients and having like an awesome experience. So I'm sure that, you know, there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you were selected. You're delivering raving fan level service. What does that mean to you though, in terms of, I want my clients to just feel like they got a wow experience? I mean, how do you make that happen? And kind of what does that look like for you?
Well, I think it looks different for every client.
Yeah.
We identify what their goals are, and then we help them, guide them there with vigor and excellence. We show up, we're responsive, we're always positive. You know, we never call our clients and say, I have bad news.
Interesting how many agents do
for
that.
Everyone. You know, okay, we've met a challenge. Here's what we're going to do. Strong leadership and just being their cheerleader. Problem solving. Staying calm. You know, sometimes we control what we can control, so that when things happen that we can't, that we're well positioned to take care of them. And, you know, we let our clients know they're going to be maybe things that pop up. Maybe your transaction will be perfectly smooth, and that's what we're going to be shooting for. And if problems arise, we're right here with you. And we haven't done everything, but we've done a lot. And our bag of tricks is pretty big. So whatever comes our way, we'll tackle it together. And
that's really where you earn people's trust, and you earn their kind of lifelong referrals, you know, is when you deliver on those challenges. And you're truly an advocate, which is what I'm hearing from you, is advocacy and really being a problem solver, which is the reason why people hire us to begin with. I think the thing I read recently is that the top 3 reasons why buyers and sellers hire realtors is their negotiation skills, helping people through that process. So, Cristen, amazing talking to you today. You are a world-class leader. There's a reason why you were recognized by Broker Agent Advisor. Congratulations on being recognized as the state representative of Oregon and this month. And, you know, just so much thanks and congratulations to you and your team.
Well, that's kind of you to say. We appreciate it. And of course, it's always an honor to be recognized.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic day, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.